Hello, I'm Sadie Miller, and this is The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello and welcome, fellow Whovians, to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We are live. Welcome. So happy to see you guys here. We've got some great conversations already started in the comments. It's great. We've got a supersized show. Here we go, time scales. Yeah. All right, so we're going to get going here. I'm going to start off with Mark Muncy. Bring you on in. Hello, Mr. Muncy.
Hi, gang. Welcome. Greetings, travelers, for my Erie Travels folks that might be tuning in.
Hey, welcome to Erie Travels. Next up, let's bring in producing for today, Reverend Amagon.
Hello there.
Hey, Tom. How's it going?
I was looking at the photo screen.
Sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
Potato
screen.
You got the hard job today.
Exactly.
Or do you? Because I've got to rein all these yahoos in.
That's easy to do. I'm the one that has
a show
pictures and this and that. Oh my god!
Because we're talking not Doctor Who today. We're all over the place, and so it's going to be a great show. Talking anything but. Hey, Alicia, how's it going? Candyman.
Hey guys, how you all doing?
And of course, our friend from Our Philosophy is Sean.
I don't like sand. I don't like sand. I wanted to get into the game of starting with a Star Wars prequel quote. I was a little bit jealous of the hello there. But I should say.
Would you rather have sand or snow?
I was about to say I don't like snow. I feel like I'm on the ice planet of Hoth right now. It's not my favorite thing, but I'm here in the warmth of the TARDIS now, so I'm perfectly fine, and I'm excited for this show.
I will say I went outside earlier, and my wife asked me how cold it was, and I said, "Well, your tauntaun would freeze before it reaches the first marker."
Right.
Brilliant. No, it's only about -3 here. It's not too bad. We're actually surprisingly warm for this time of the year.
We're a balmy
-3. Like, go ahead. Sorry.
February starts hitting like -40 some years. So,
are we talking Fahrenheit? Or like,
Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
I'm talking Celsius because I'm a horrible human being and never mention Celsius. But
I understand Celsius. It's easy.
Yeah. Normally, like I said, in February we tend to hit like -40, and that doesn't matter what you're talking because that's where they match.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too sad about just below freezing.
Well, like because if you're talking Fahrenheit, like -40, I'm like -40. Like
-40 no longer matters. -40 is the same in Celsius and Fahrenheit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's cold.
Wow, Dave, you just actually the crap out of me. I'm not gonna lie, but it was fascinating to hear about it. Like, wow, I did not know that.
Yes,
I've never been actually on the air. No, I'm just kidding. It's really
actually.
Cool.
So, Dave, what's that in Kelvin?
I have no idea. It's also -40. Matches in Kelvin too. I have no idea. So like I said, we're doing a great show. We're going to talk anything but Who today. Christian will eventually join us. He had some real world stuff he had to deal with, but he'll tune in a little bit later. Mr. Muncy might have to drop out a little bit early. That works out. We'll just trade a Mark for a Christian at some point. But we got one more. We're going to talk a little bit of Doctor Who to start with the Who New News. that seem like a reasonable thing to do?
Yes.
Yeah, if I hit the right button.
If you hit the right button. So let's hit the that Who Knew News the video section, not just the overlay.
Video.
Welcome, guys.
I swear you're like my either I asked the universe when my sister was being born for a brother. I ended up with this.
Yes.
I end up with all brothers, and they're all either bratty, funny, or silly, or crazy. Everything. So yeah, so it's going to be an interesting night tonight, especially with all these happy birthdays, because I hate saying it, but it's a sad but happy birthday. Because the two that we're talking about have passed away, and one recently. And it's crazy because I'm not going to mention age or anything. I'm just going to say that I wish these two a happy birthday, and we're going to start with Gil Gerard. As you know, he just recently passed away, and it's sad because he got to be friends with the TARDIS, and I was hoping you guys would get to see him again. And from what I'm hearing from other friends who have met him, we did it justice for when we mentioned that he had passed. We did it justice. So he is a very well-liked, missed person. And yeah, it's one of those, like, I was hoping we would have a happy birthday this time, but we have a birthday, celestial one, we'll call it, and everything for these two. So right now, Gil, who passed away recently, like I said, the last thing we did for him, everyone praised us. So it's sad, but he would have been how old now? Yeah, I'm not gonna say it because let's just celebrate because we're doing a very quick night tonight. Let's go with our next one, which is John Hurt, if I get it right on here. Our original War Doctor. It's just at my computer right now, just for some reason does not want to put him up, because he was my favorite from Harry Potter, The Elephant Man, and Alien. I was like, especially Alien, but his best was when he recurred his role on Spaceballs and everything to repeat the part and stuff. That I was hoping he would have came back and everything, but sad to say too, he had passed away. And it would have been a cool story arc if he had stayed, because think about it, him in maybe the Christmas special, or maybe in an episode crossover, because it's funny you use that picture because we don't know what the moment will be or anything. So I would tell everybody, celebrate while you can, and hope that whatever happens in these wilderness years, you enjoy Doctor Who, because someone else is not going anytime soon, is Tom Baker, because now he's playing Sherlock Holmes again with a fellow companion, or as you said it, Mark, K9?
K9, yeah, John Leeson.
Mm-hmm. And it seems it's going to be an audio drama set to release this March of 2026. And I'm trying to get now I want to make sure I say the right name of it for the thing. It's called The Red Letter Day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And everything. So if you guys want to check that out, and it's a screen adaptation of The Hound of Baskerville, like he's been in that. He's played Moriarty. But this Red Letter Day one, there's going to be a pre-order. And it's an official on the official Kickstarter page. We may have the link. I'm just trying to pull up the link now that we can send to you guys. But if you want it, and they're saying there's also an additional bonus for Doctor Who fans as well. So let's see what happens with this. But
there is, because it's the voice of K9 is.
No, but there might be something else going on with this and everything too.
He's going to be playing Dr. Watson, so he joked that this time K9 gets to be the Doctor.
So if you guys want to basically get your copy, I'm going to see if I can send it to the guys right now, the link, the Kickstarter. But at the same time, I can't wait, because I want to, he's not going anywhere. He better not go anywhere, and stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, basically, we have a very short news today, and I'm a little off because I didn't want to report sad birthdays. I was hoping to have some good news for you guys, especially on the war between the land and the sea, as well as many other things that are happening in the WHOniverse. But it's all hearsay and rumors. So please, guys, just bear with it, and hopefully, because like I said, they haven't filmed the Christmas special yet. They're in talks, and maybe they're going to tie it to when that comes out, or maybe we'll get it this summer. Who knows? But keep watching Disney Plus to see when they air it, as well as many other like sites and everything, because we don't want to bootleg anything or all that. But if you want to watch it, we know nothing. I know nothing and everything. So yeah. So that's all the news we have for today and stuff. And I'm hoping, I know I'm like sounding out of it, but it's been a very trying week for me also and everything, because I'm worried about the wilderness years too, because I got some word on it, and let's just stop with the rumors, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just jump in and wish my brother
please.
a happy birthday today? He turned
Okay,
46.
now we get a happy birthday. Yes.
Happy birthday to my brother.
Mhm.
Which is why I thought I might be a little bit late to the show, but I wasn't. But have a good birthday and keep on doing what you're doing. So he works as a paramedic in.
Oh, he's a hero.
So yeah, he's frontline. So thank you.
Awesome.
Definitely happy birthday.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So the whole premise of today. Well, here, hit the bumper
Yeah,
so we can actually close the.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Pull the lever, Kronk. We're calling.
Why do we even have that lever?
Oh, the opening glitch.
That's the one.
You had to say opening
That
glitch
lever.
because that's his opening glitch. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you're the one that let Princess Vanellope in the system.
Oh, actually, Dave, you're getting ready to go into the premise. I just realized, though, before you've even gone into the premise, I've already broken the rule, because when I was introducing myself, I said I'm already in the warmth of the TARDIS. So I'm the first one who has to put a coin in the swear jar. I'm so sorry.
That's right,
Yeah.
because
I'm
we're
basking in
doing
the warmth
anything
of half a
like
Totoro.
Doctor Who. Absolutely no Doctor Who today.
Yeah.
We're going outside the Whoniverse.
The birthdays today should have been Patton Oswalt and Peter Laird, who drew
Spider-Man
Teenage Ninja Turtles.
or Ninja Turtles.
And, and Frank Miller. So there we go. We had some comic book birthdays today.
I gotta find my copy of Frank Miller's thing. It's somewhere around here and everything.
Okay, so I want the audience to basically mark down how many times we accidentally say the word we're not allowed to say or mention anything to do with it.
Macbeth.
And whoever scores the most may do a forfeit next week.
I'm going to be
They
out
do a what next week?
A forfeit.
What's a forfeit?
Won't be on the show.
Won't be on the show.
Throw you off.
You're gonna leave me with the crazy people next door? This is therapy.
So
All
keep count, audience, of how many times you screw up.
While we're talking about to the audience, we have
Wait. Then Dave has to take down something.
What?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Anybody got anything around?
I think I angled my camera pretty safe.
Hold on.
That's
right. Shoot, let me get all my
Dave.
let me get all my who stuff out of the shot.
Said, not shown, because
Dave, you got the role-playing books behind your shoulder.
Yeah, I'm not moving those. They're heavy.
All right.
Dave, am I safe? Is there anything Doctor Who related in my shot?
Let me see if
I will cover them over in a minute.
Does that mean I'm hosting next week?
Hold on.
Because it's Mark Muncie's turn to go to talk first.
Right.
And I'll go second. And if what I think is in this box is in this box, I'll cover that over.
Okay.
That seems fair.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the premise is, again, outside the Whoniverse, we have what we want to talk about. But if there's something you guys in the audience want to talk about, by all means, put it in the comment section. Maybe we'll touch on it. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just get wrapped up in our own thing. Who knows? But
welcome to Spill the Geek Tea.
Yes, and welcome
my
to Spill the
ears
Geek
got
Tea. We're going
broken.
all over the place.
I gotta reset.
So, Mr. Muncie, you've got a doozy of a topic to talk about right now.
This
You're a rant.
Yeah, this is a rant, guys. I'm sorry. This is Mr. Muncie's gonna rant here, and it's not about cryptids and ghosts and UFOs and all that. This is this hit me hard to my nerd core. One of the last remaining printing houses that prints paperback books, specifically mass market paperbacks, announced that December 25th, 2025, Christmas Day, they were done. No more mass market paperbacks. And they're pretty much the last publishing house still doing them. So if you love your mass market paperbacks, they're going to be disappearing. Nobody else is really doing it. Everything's gone to trade paperbacks. As a young kid, that was my secret to reading, right? We didn't have VHS back then yet. We still just had reruns of TV. So as a kid, the only way I could open up nerddom, sci-fi, fantasy was by buying books. And I have like my first two that I bought here that I still have. These are like 74 and 75. The Dragon and the George from Gordon Dixon, and The Witching of Dracula. My parents let me buy this. Most people, know hardcovers and the trade paperbacks aren't going anywhere for a while. You at least got a few more years of those because they're expensive and they're hard to produce, but that's why they're $30, $40. And even back then, they were usually near $20. And for a kid like me who had little income, especially in rural West Virginia, these were beautiful because these were a whopping 95 cents. And I believe this one a little bit fancier. I paid $1.95 for it. And it really opened up reading paperbacks. They really boomed in the 60s through the early 90s. That was when they peaked. And that's been it. They've been kind of on a downward trend since the 90s. And here, mass market paperbacks grand total was around $80 million in sales. Put that in perspective, trade paperbacks, the kind that I publish now, they averaged over $6 billion in sales versus $81 million in sales. Now, the publishers tell you the reason they're doing that is these are much higher quality. They'll last longer. They can put more into it. They can also charge more for it. And
there's the real one right there.
There's the secret. There's the secret.
Mhm.
But these things, they were on cheaper paper, but they still last. People always say, oh, they don't last as long. These have lasted me, and I've read this thing at least a dozen times. And I'm going to get my quarter jar out right off the bat.
Nope. You save your quarter. I did not post a picture. I'm posting.
I know,
your other
but I've
pictures.
got them here. So during the wilderness years, all we had were specific things. And again, before VHS, you could get novelizations of your episodes. There we go. That was it. And those are going to be gone now, the Target books. But I also got like Space 1999 books. I remember V, the TV series in the 80s, when that came out, that had a bunch of novels, even though the series got Battlestar Galactica had novels of episodes that never aired and never filmed. These are ways you could keep your stuff going. And of course, movie novelizations. I remember the Tron movie novelization and the Buckaroo Banzai movie novelization were just great. And then the Scholastic books. Oh my gosh. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Yeah, they were. Who didn't live for the book fair? Now, most Scholastic books were the little bit larger ones, but that was where I first started the Narnia books and the Tolkien books. Oh my gosh. I couldn't afford the hardcovers, but I could afford those.
Right.
And if you were a nerd in the 70s and 80s, oh my gosh. But that's exactly what's the change there, Raj, is that they say, hey, ebooks, most people are switching to ebooks, and a lot of people are switching to audiobooks, although audiobooks are definitely kind of waning now. The publishing companies realize there's not as much money in those unless your name is Amazon. So, yeah, ebooks, the big thing about them is they can come out the same day as the hardcover. They can be a little bit cheaper. They're not as cheap as the mass markets, but they're still a little bit cheaper usually. And you don't have to wait that, like we used to have to wait a year from a hardcover to a paperback. But for kids like me, I didn't know I was waiting a year. Back then, we didn't have message boards with spoilers. So it was just it's a sad time to hear that news. And as an old fart, I can't help it. It hit hard. And it doesn't help that that's my collecting. I collect mass market paperbacks. My goal in life on my deathbed is to see my 2 kids. Yes, it'd be great to see my kids. Any potential grandkids, that'll be nice, but I don't think that's coming. But after they're gone, I want someone to put an old paperback, preferably some from the 60s or 70s, just over my face. So that's my last smell, is the smell of an old mass market paperback, because that's just something that is core to my being, and I'm sad that the next generation ain't gonna have that. So
can I ask you a question?
There's my rant. That's my outside of WHOniverse, is go buy your paperbacks. Go buy as many as you can. We want them to. Spaceballs the book. Yes, one of my favorites.
Can I ask a question for the less initiated about paperbacks? Just about your rant. So first, just for people like me, I grew up with paperbacks, of course. I used to that was my main access to books. Really, you were talking about Scholastic book fairs and stuff. But can you explain first the difference between a mass market paperback and a trade paperback? And then I wanted to ask you, and you kind of covered it, but I also wanted to ask, does that? I mean, presumably there are still children's authors that are publishing sort of like Goosebumps-esque type series of books for kids. I mean, it's something different now probably, but what's going to happen going forward with those?
Well, those are still around because those are a little bit larger. See, the difference, mass market is a very specific size, usually like a 5x7 versus a trade paperback. See the difference? They're a much larger.
Okay, I get you.
And I honestly, my complaint is I can throw this in a coat pocket, or in or in just an easy to carry thing. I can put 3 of these in a bag versus one of these. But of course, everybody will tell me, oh, you can put 100 of them onto a digital thing. So that's how it works. But if you don't have bookshelves, I understand. But that's your problem, Dan. Buy a house so you can have bookshelves. I sold my old house.
The only thing I hate about digital is the media could be corrupted, or because think about it, the way we're altering all the digital technology now. What if the stuff we had years ago doesn't play on the new stuff?
Oh, and also you don't own on Amazon. Your Kindle, you don't own that. It could disappear tomorrow. It's licensed. You're licensed to use it, and that could go away. We are very Fahrenheit 451. One delete.
Oh, you mean this? You mean this?
Yep. Exactly.
Hey, look.
Mass market edition.
Yeah,
it's in the back somewhere.
Mass market edition.
Yeah, because I have a mass market version of The Shining, which is small like that. So I think I didn't realize that's what those were called.
Yeah, they were called mass market because they were for the mass market.
$6.99.
They were for the normal people, the non buyers of books. Because remember, back before the 60s, the only people that had books were the wealthy. They had, except for Bibles. Everybody had a Bible, but or whatever religious text they had in their house. But you could only buy big hardcovers. That's why all those old libraries that you see in all the old TV shows are all those leather-bound fancy things. And then they decided, we can make, there we go. That's one of my shelves that was one of the things that saved me was the TSR novels. That introduced, when you couldn't play Dungeons and Dragons, like I was banned during the Satanic Panic, you could buy paperbacks and get Dungeons and Dragons stories. And that's what made TSR. They couldn't afford to print hardcovers for a long time. They started as mass markets because it was cheap paper, it was cheap to print, and they started dominating the sales charts to the point where they had to change the rules because people were upset that Dungeons and Dragons books were beating sales of Stephen King. But see, there's my old 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s paperbacks. I love those old crazy sci-fi. You can read them in an hour. They're so much fun. And 95% of what I collect is out of print. So again, you're not going to find them digital, or if you're lucky, you might have somebody who typed them up. But
So you're telling everybody go hunt
There's
their
all my
local.
There's a bunch of
dumpster.
movie TV adaptations right there. If you dig, I think you'll see Spaceballs over there.
Everybody has it. I have it over here too.
That's a
I got
classic.
it because she did.
Mark,
Yeah.
what do you mean by scholastic books? Because
Scholastic
Oh.
was they were what you did in school
Let me see
was
if I have
there was
mine.
a company that printed kids books. Most right now everybody thinks of Goosebumps and stuff like that. Back in the day, it was for young kids all the way up through maybe middle school, junior high.
Yeah.
They would have once every few months. You would have the Scholastic Book Fair would come to town.
I don't know if this is Scholastic, Mark. Is this Scholastic?
Which one? Yeah. Well, no, that's I think
Because that was what Scholastic
That's a
was
mass
based-
market. Yeah.
Yeah,
They came-
Scholastic is a
know.
is a company here in the
Yeah,
States.
they're a company.
No, I know who they are. They used to
Oh.
come to my Catholic
Yeah,
school all the time, but these were one of the books
you
they
would
had.
bring you would bring like $5 to the Scholastic Book Fair, and you'd buy 6 books, a bookmark, and you'd be like rolling. You'd feel like you were a millionaire.
okay,
And they were really cheap paperbacks for kids usually.
we don't get that over in the UK.
I
I
know.
found it. I found it.
Yes.
I knew that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Scholastic. There you go.
Scholastic.
Classic.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, a little bit bigger.
I bought
than the
these
mass
two at the same
market.
time.
Okay. Yeah, about a little bit bigger than the mass markets generally. Just they were they were about the same price and stuff,
can
but
focus,
they
there you
did
go.
some mass markets too. That's how I got the Narnia books originally. Was
Mhm.
the Scholastic
Right.
book.
Yeah, I have
And,
the whole Narnia set here.
Yeah, and they were super cheap. It was a nice way for kids to get cheap books, and it was a thing in schools to promote reading.
Right.
Because
okay.
even then kids were not reading because we were watching television too much. We were in front of the idiot box. And
so in the UK,
Black and
Yeah.
white.
Yeah.
we used to have Penguin and Puffin books.
Okay.
Penguin,
No idea.
Penguin
I don't
Classic.
know whether
Oh
or
yeah,
not
Penguin
that's
books.
the same
Those are fun.
thing.
Uh,
Same thing.
I think Penguin does have a kids imprint still, but Penguin was more for classics. They reprint like classic books after.
No, because
Oh.
like the Penguin in the UK was mainly because the Puffin was designed was Penguin.
right.
Because this was
For the
kids
kids.
back then.
Yeah.
When I was, this is gold.
Yeah,
This is
that was Scholastic Book Fair too. I think.
LeVar Burton signed it.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to see what I mean? It's like I'm
Yeah.
trying to hide my name.
The little golden book. Little
Yeah.
golden book was were pretty popular and stuff. But again, as the mass market was just one of those things that just
But yeah, we never had book fairs in school.
No,
Oh, really?
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
I used to love that.
So in the UK, we didn't. We just had libraries, and we used to have in the summer period, like you'll go in for the library and do like a readathon for the summer holidays, which was for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But
That's crazy because we're not that much apart in age and the difference with the cultures too.
Yeah.
and
No.
so that our books was normally like how they did with Avon. Someone will put on a book fair at a person's house
yeah.
rather than at a school.
Yeah, I
Just-
remember. I remember people doing that too. I remember that was a big thing with magazines. I think over here we had to do
Oh,
that.
those.
You had to go to sell magazines
Mhm.
to try to earn a bicycle and stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, my
just
dad
for
remembered
some-
that.
I
Just
remember
for some
that.
just for some context, just for a bit of context to answer your question as well. When J.K. Rowling released Harry Potter in 1997 in the UK, the Philosopher's Stone, Scholastic is the company that bought and distributed Harry Potter here in the States in 1998, and they're also the company that owned like the distribution for Goosebumps, and then when they eventually did the Goosebumps TV series, it was Scholastic that was also a partner. So Scholastic, like here in the States, it's like a giant. It's like kind of synonymous with like children's literature a lot of the time, and that's why they had book fairs and they had magazines and so yeah. And I didn't know they didn't really have a presence in the UK, but yeah.
And they don't do
No.
they don't do mass market. They do the ones that they do.
Yeah, so the two big brands in the when I was growing up was either Ladybird books or the Puffin books or Penguins. But you guys probably don't have those brands over in the US.
No,
Mark-
I don't think so. We had Penguin. and Random House. There was the big 5 publishers.
What
Now
Random
they've
House?
merged. There's only 3.
Yeah,
technically.
Random House is Penguin now.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's technically only 2 because Amazon owns 2 of the others.
Amazon's buying everybody.
Yeah, and then that's what, and that's just it. Amazon wants you to all go digital anyway. They don't want any physical products anywhere.
They don't want you on your computer either.
Yeah.
Mark, we got a question here from Timescales. One of my daughters is asking it if you thought the second Narnia book was the first one.
That's when I was reading them. It was the first one. They didn't put in. They put was A Boy and His Horse was actually I think like the 5th book when I was reading them. It was like the 5th one to come out, and then they reordered them because it was a prequel.
Yeah,
they reordered them much later. So
that's the next comment down. Is they said that because the second Narnia book was published first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe was published first. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's not the best book. I'm sorry.
No. But it was great when you're 6. It's amazing. So it's that was my problem. I started big. I started with Lord of the Rings, went back to Narnia, and then everybody's like, oh, and then what are you gonna read next? Here's this kid's book about stuff. I was like, oh geez, this is baby book. Give me good stuff. And thank God TSR came out when they did and started doing the D&D books. But that was in the 80s. It was I had struggled through my own wilderness years. But the Target novels were there and other stuff. And that's just it. People don't realize the mass market books. There were no Dr. Such and Such hardcovers forever. They were only mass market paperbacks.
Does that count? Does that count as an invasion?
If they hadn't had the cheap versions, we wouldn't have had those. So I don't think they would have published what they did because they didn't have it.
I think I used to read the Choose Your Own Adventure books back in the 80s.
I have them.
Those are mass market. Those are great. I have a collection of anything like Find Your Fate, Fighting Fantasy. Those were the Steve Jackson ones. Those were UK and they were great. And
they're coming back. They've re-released a lot of those. The Steve Jackson.
Yeah, I'm on the Kickstarter for the second round.
Nice. Yeah, I did their Cthulhu one. I did a couple of playthroughs of it.
That was good actually.
Yeah. Where I am now doing ghosts and monsters and stuff. This was one of the first ones I was able to get, which is Ghosts I've Met by Hans Holzer. This is one of my cherished signed copies. I take care of this one. I read this as a kid because again, I wasn't allowed to read ghost stories and things like that. So or monster books or horror books because it was for my parents were fine with it. We just couldn't find them anywhere. But paranormal books somehow were fine, and they were in the stores. And I think you can even see this: a bestseller at $5 in hardcover, now 60 cents. So,
I remember those things when they used to discount them.
Paperbacks are great, and I got that, started reading that, and that's the first guy I wrote, first author I ever wrote, because I was like, hey, he's got an address here, and I wrote him, and he wrote back, and that's what started all this mess. And he introduced me to other paranormal folks back in the day, the Ed and Lorraine Warren and all that. And I went to their house. It was, I was 9 and doing this stuff. So,
damn.
Yeah. So I owe it all to mass market paperbacks. So thank you, mass market. And there's my opening rant.
And you know what?
You're welcome.
And you know what? When the power goes out, you can light a candle and write it. And if you don't like it, you can use it to keep warm.
Yeah. And Dave's been to my house, so he knows I have about 1,000, 1,500 books, I think.
Mark, I wish you would see what I have.
Yeah. And
Dad yells at me.
You'll never, if I read a book a week, I could not get through all these books by the time, but I read a book a day usually. The epilepsy brain, I've slowed down. I'm about one every 3 or 4 days now. But still, it's like a wine cellar to me. I've got the right book on the right day when I want it. All the extras are just there for who knows. I might want it that one day. So,
were you saying something a second ago? Sorry. Did you start to say something, Dave? I thought you were done. I'm so sorry.
Well, I was going to say I've got a thing here. I promised to do a box opening.
Yeah.
And if I'm right, it's not that far off of this topic.
Uh-oh. All right. Let's do it.
Oh, no.
So I've got this here. And
Drum roll.
even though Christian's not around, I'm going to point out, look, my address is crossed out, Christian.
Yeah, good, smart.
Unlike Christian, who
So
did
many
it
buttons.
out.
We should go and kill you if you.
Da-da-da-da-da. Bubble wrap.
Right. So this came in the mail. I think I know what it is, which is why I said a road trip on the verge of reality.
Uh-oh.
The Electric State.
Oh, the role-playing game.
Awesome.
The role-playing game.
The cover is like trying to do a 3D effect, right?
Hologram. I love
That's
it.
because it's got it.
Yeah.
That's because it's actually got a wrap on it.
Oh,
But that
That
looks
looks cool.
cool. That would have been nice.
And they did, and
Unless it's still showing a hologram effect. Let's see.
yeah.
Well,
It is. It's shaking. Yeah, the electric
Yeah.
state is shaking.
it might just be the arm. And,
Oh.
No, it's
Oh,
actually
yeah,
shaking.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is.
these are based
must-
on
Really well stuff.
Simon Stallenhag's artwork.
Yep.
And there was actually a movie of this recently. And there's
Yeah.
an image
Wasn't
of that
that-
in the
It
On
wasn't
Netflix.
Tales from the Loop, right? That was kind of like it.
Tales from the Loop also exists
Yeah.
as
Hey.
both as an art book and as a role-playing game, as does Things from the Flood, which was a loose follow-up to Tales from the Loop.
Neat.
Tales from the Loop was an alternate reality, 1980s, with robots.
Yeah.
And if you watch the TV series from Tales from the Loop on Amazon Prime, you can see the artwork. That's a shot from the show on the right there,
Yeah.
and there's that's the artwork on the RPG, and which is straight from his art book. So they a lot of this imagery came straight from the art books, and it was fascinating. You'd have these a corded telephone and a robot running amok outside,
Nice.
and that's the whole premise of this game. And one of the very important things about Tales from the Loop: kids don't die. You're playing a kid.
Oh, okay.
And you eventually you might age out of the game as you level up. You might get hurt. But you would never actually die. You would just kind of fade to black. Electric State takes place in the 1990s, late 1990s. There's another version of the role-playing game image. The movie was a surprising disappointment.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie.
No, it's not. I wanted to like it so much more than I did, but I didn't hate it.
No, and it's got an incredible cast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt in the leads. It's got Giancarlo Esposito as the main villain. Anthony Mackie's one of the voices. There's a ton of famous people doing voice work. And it's the same sort of thing. It's robots in a post-apocalyptic, in this case 1990s. The robots have taken over, or not taken over, but taken their own destiny in their hands, and there was actually a robot war. And so this, again, I've just opened this, so I don't know how that has translated into this role-playing game from Free League.
Yeah.
But they do excellent stuff. So this is a basically remote control. I forget the actual term for it. I literally just rewatched the movie, but humanity will now has human controlled robots, kind of like the Spider Slayer in the old Spider-Man cartoon, where J. Jonah Jameson's got his face on the belly. You've got a similar sort of thing with robots, where you can be sitting at home and having a robot do all your stuff and you end up looking like you would in
Wally.
people on Wally. Yeah, exactly.
No, D&D came out way back 76.
Oh, of course.
77.
Yeah. In the 70s.
Yeah, sorry.
Whereas
Billy.
this came out, a year ago.
Yeah. And but that was again back when we didn't have VHS and all that. D&D was our nerd outlet.
Yep. We have so many more nerd outlets now. It is delightful. So there's some advertising on silos.
I'm not a nerd.
Nerd has become almost there's almost like positive connotation to the word nerd now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, almost.
And it wasn't like that for a while.
No, it wasn't.
We were all us kids that were former kids when Lord of the Rings, Return of the King finally won Best Picture. All of us who felt like Star Wars and Indiana Jones were robbed of Oscars. We could all go, yes, we made it.
I still maintain this premise that I'm not a nerd. I'm a geek.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there are differences.
Oh yeah,
it's like there's a difference between hillbilly and redneck. People don't understand that, but it's a big difference.
Yeah,
giant robot in a barn. Little creepy.
Yes, it is.
I like it.
Yep.
Yeah,
if I had a dime for every time I saw that.
Yeah, I'd have 2 dimes, which is weird.
2 dimes.
Well, I have something when I talk about my topic that Dave might know about from what he's showing.
So I just wanted to show this off that it showed up in the mail.
Yay!
And it comes with a. This is why it was wrapped. It has a fold-out map.
Nice
map.
And
map. Who's got the map?
I got the map. There's an exclusion zone. So this is all the robots after the war got placed in behind a giant wall.
Yeah.
So the film, they go through this wall and into the robot realms, and they meet like Mr. Peanut, the robot. The mascot for Planters Peanuts.
Nice.
I got
a robot version.
Okay.
Straight up, that's straight up who that is. That's not even just making fun of it. But they go into this exclusion zone in the movie. They stuff from the past, from the 80s and stuff, is extremely sought after. So it's an interesting thing. And this is out from Free League in Sweden and Skybound in North America. He said based on the art of Simon Spellenhag. I definitely recommend as well the Tales from the Loop. If the TV show for Tales from the Loop is very artistically paced.
Okay.
It is a visual series. It is in a lesser series, you'd call it slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is visually beautiful. There's only like 6 episodes. It's on Prime. And it is absolutely just gorgeous. And again, you've got this weird mix of 1980s actual, VHS tape, corded phones, and then giant robots running amok outside. So it's a fascinating setting, and the artwork in these RPGs, like I said, comes straight from Stalinog's book, and it is absolutely amazing. There's a dinosaur, clone dinosaur running amok on the side of the road.
The quality on that is incredible.
Yeah, and this one specifically is a matte paper. It's not usual glossy paper, so it's got a feel to it. This is why I love physical editions as far as role-playing games go. There's a lot of advantages to the digital editions, but you don't get that tactile moment.
Yeah, and the smell, the smell of the book and the gloss, and the gloss or the matte finish.
Yeah. So there's a robot outside the house. You got some dinosaurs. These and Tales from the Loop, the RPG also comes from Free League. And it's absolutely fabulous. Things from the Loop takes place loosely in the aftermath of Tales from the Loop. It's not a direct sequel, but you can certainly play it as such, where you play an older teenager in Things from the Flood. but again, also from his artwork. And there's adventures and other stuff as well. So it is an absolutely fabulous show, series, movie. It's worth watching.
Is the Prime series, is this like a new Prime series?
No, the Prime series is a couple of years old.
A couple years old, yeah.
Oh, I mean, I consider that new, but
yeah, it's not old. It's a couple of years
Right.
old, and the Electric State is on Netflix, and it's about a year or so old.
Same
Yeah,
guys who
about a
did
year.
the Avengers movies, right?
Yes,
The
the Russo brothers directed it. That's true. Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
and there's a series on Prime and a series on Netflix as well.
Yep.
Film
The
on
Netflix is just
Netflix.
Film on Netflix, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
There's
I
so
said
much
I'd
new
cover
stuff
over-
released
I'd
on
said
Netflix.
I'd cover over my Doctor Who if it was what I thought it was. With my cat.
There you go.
Oh, I see it
Perfect.
now. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh, you said it.
But I had to say it because we established it first. I'm not.
Yeah, we had to cover it. Yes.
Yeah.
Especially, I think Dave knows what these are.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't get volume 2 because it never came out.
Oh.
They'd stop releasing it because it never
Well,
sold.
You don't buy volume 1, you don't get volume 2. All these people are like, I won't
You
buy a
wanna talk
series till it's complete.
D&D. This was the D&D that that people can't find now. Nobody
Yeah.
can find volume 2.
Yeah. All these people, I won't buy book 1 or 2 until it's all complete. Well, if people stop buying book 1 of Lord of the Rings, we never would have Fellowship. We never would have gotten Two Towers and Return of the King. So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Amazon's doing like the 50 to 60%
Sorry,
off
the
sales.
bearded man upset you and hurt you by not releasing his last 2 books, but
But no, and earlier, Sean mentioned the Goosebumps books.
yeah.
And one of the things he wanted to talk about was not the Goosebumps television series, but a very similar Canadian, I might add.
Nickelodeon.
Concept.
Uh,
It was a Canadian production called "Are You Afraid of the Dark?"
heck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tales
Shall
from
I
the
proceed?
Hood for Kids.
Yeah, horror for kids.
Did you want me to proceed
You
with
show
that,
that
Dave?
today, nobody. The kids will be freaking out if you show that today.
No, not at all. It is a pretty. It's really
Nah,
lightweight.
kids love spooky, man. They're good.
Exactly.
Did you want me to?
Yes,
me to
go
ahead
for
and-
it, Sean.
Okay,
Tell us
yeah.
about "Are You Afraid of the Dark?"
Yeah. So it's it's a 90s series. It's funny because it came out. I mean, and with me talking now, I'm not going to go on like a big monologue or anything, so you guys can like jump in. So I'm not saying like it's going to be just me talking, but like it's a 90s series that came out and actually came out before the Goosebumps series.
Yes, it did.
I'm not sure if the Goosebumps books were written first. I'm pretty sure it came out before both the Goosebumps series and the book. I almost said novels. They're not really novels. They're more like
No, it predated. Yeah, not too early, much earlier, but a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I wanted to talk about it is just because I think it's a little bit underappreciated. I mean, if you're an adult and you want to watch things that have like a really good storyline or something, then I really wouldn't watch either of these series. Honestly, I would watch something else. But I think that it's really interesting that Goosebumps is such a cultural staple. Like pretty much everyone knows about it because they've got that new Disney series. Have you guys seen the new Disney series on Disney Plus?
No.
Which
At all?
one?
They did a new one. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's so they've only got 2 seasons, and I was very sad when they canceled it. The new Goosebumps series is actually like every season is like its own self-contained story, and it's got like 8 or so episodes, and they kind of it's got 10 episodes, and they kind of tell stories that are based on the books, but very loosely. And it's pretty well done, I think. But I mean, if you read those original Goosebumps books, I mean, no disrespect to R.L. Stine. I have a lot of respect for him as an author and what he did for children's literature. But man, a lot of them they're just terrible. Like they're worse than you remember when you go back and you read. I mean, they're not written well, and the stories don't make sense. One of my pet peeves is when I read something and the protagonist is kind of dumb. Which makes sense because the kids are like 12 in the books, but like, we were talking about paperbacks earlier, and I was thinking about all the Goosebumps books. I have somewhere in my storage shed. They've probably all been chewed up by mice now, honestly, since it's been in the storage shed for so long. Like, I have just dozens of Goosebumps books and Animorphs books just sitting in my storage shed from when I was a child. But it wasn't until I was in my 20s and I was just kind of looking for some nostalgic stuff to watch. I remember Are You Afraid of the Dark being on TV back in the 90s, and it kind of seeming more like the older kids show almost, because I had Goosebumps on VHS and all that, and children's horror was really taking off at this time. I think that's because after the 80s, you know, with Freddy Krueger and all that stuff, kids were starting to grow up watching this kind of content, and they wanted stuff that's more kid focused, that kind of is gonna meet that need. But I was surprised how much better Are You Afraid of the Dark is, just how much better it works. Because Goosebumps always has this very, like, tongue-in-cheek, very goofy aesthetic, and it's not unintentional, but I never really get the intention that, or I never really get the idea that I'm watching something that's not a children's show when I'm watching Goosebumps. Everything is just very cheesy all the time, which is fine because it's mainly made for 7-year-olds. But every episode just kind of starts. In Goosebumps, you don't really get a similar framing device. The intro is fine, it's iconic, but it's not really anything that's going to be like, I don't know. It's not anything special, really. When you watch Are You Afraid of the Dark, there's one specific episode I'm going to talk about in just a second. I'm going to try to be as brief as possible, but Are You Afraid of the Dark, if you've never seen it, it is much more serious for starring children of the same age demographic. It's much more serious. The intro to Goosebumps is kind of like this funky beat with all this scary / goofy imagery. Are You Afraid of the Dark starts, the intro for this show, it's got like a heartbeat going underneath it, speaking of the heartbeat sound effect we had earlier. It's got this heartbeat sound effect going and this really creepy, like, French horn music. And you see these visuals at nighttime with, like, you see like thank you very much. You see the abandoned swing set, like you see. Yeah, nice. Keep it going. You see like this abandoned house. And you see, like, you don't see who's going up the stairs, but you just see this figure walking through the house, and they go into a closet, and they light a match, and, like, this creepy, like, ghostly choir starts, and it says, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like, it's legitimately kind of frightening. Yeah, like that sound wasn't. It's legitimately kind of frightening, and the premise of the show that's so cool is it's just a bunch of kids that meet in the woods at night and tell a story around a campfire. And they take like a handful of sawdust and they throw it on the fire and they say, submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. I call this story the tale of the whatever it is, you know, the tale of the laughing in the dark, the tale of the lonely ghost. And already right there, that framing device makes it a little bit more forgivable when things are goofy, because it's kids telling the stories, but some of that stuff is pretty hardcore. There's an episode called The Lonely Ghost, which, if you have kids that are probably like, you know, older elementary school kids, this is the kind of thing I could see playing every single year for my kids, because the backstory to this little episode is pretty. Some of it's pretty harrowing. It talks about this girl who's nonverbal, and she gets like shut in this house and no one knows that she's there, and she just like passes away in this room, and her ghost is like haunting this house. And it's like, you wouldn't expect that to be scary on something like Fox Kids or Nickelodeon, but like some of it is shot in such a way where not only is it very poignant and it has a lot of moments that are kind of sentimental and sad, but like some of the imagery is kind of frightening, even though they're not really showing any blood or any gore. And I just think this show in general is a little bit more sophisticated. And they had a 2019 revival of it, but I really don't hear anyone talking about Are You Afraid of the Dark like people talk about Goosebumps. And I don't really know why, because it's just so much more well done. You know what I mean? My voice cracked really bad.
Oh, that's good. I think it's because Goosebumps came out as a book. I looked it up, by the way. Are You Afraid of the Dark, the TV series, and Goosebumps, the book series, both came out in 1992. Or started in 1992. Yeah. So they came out pretty much in parallel. And I'm not going to look up what month came first, because neither books nor TV shows just appear magically in no time at all.
Yeah.
Right.
They both were developed in parallel, completely separately.
I think the
Mhm.
series came out within a month of each other. Honestly,
Yeah. It is worth noting. Oh, sorry.
Well, no, I think Are You Afraid of the Dark had the movie first. They had a TV movie or a Halloween special, and then the series came after that because it was so popular.
Yeah, it was in 1991. So by that standard, I mean, and like you said, David, it doesn't just poof there overnight. But by that standard, I think the pilot, at least for Are You Afraid of the Dark, came out in 1991. So
okay.
But anyway, go ahead, Dave.
No, so it's. I think that's what because there was the books for Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And because those got a little bit wider distribution. This is still the early 90s. There are people who still have turn dial TVs.
Black and white TVs, yeah.
Black and white TVs, potentially. But the dial ones that you might not be able to get Nickelodeon. Like, I had to get an adapter.
Wait, you said 91?
Nickelodeon was not part of the basic cable. It was
you're saying 91, right? Yeah, Nickelodeon was my rich uncle could afford it. We didn't. We couldn't get that. No, I had to wait till I go to Long Island to go watch it.
They expanded where your TV only went up to channel 13 and UHF went up to like 44.
You had the rabbit ears and that was there.
You had to buy the adapter box that went to 100.
Which, and for us, YTV, which is where Are You Afraid of the Dark aired, and I think they are actually the ones who produced it. Was channel 14.
Oh wow!
So you had to go up and get that adapter box to even get the channel. Whereas Goosebumps, you could go to your Scholastic book fair, and pick up a Goosebumps.
And then Fox Kids started airing it. Fox Kids
was on Fox. Yeah,
that eventually came out. Yeah,
I have. I was a subscriber to Fox Kids magazine with DJ Cat and everything. I actually have my card. Wait, where is my card? I have a membership card.
I was a sound intern at Universal Studios in Florida when we were working on shows like Family Double Dare and Legends of the Hidden Temple. And Are You Afraid of the Dark was kicking our ass in the ratings. So we were all like, I guess that's what they're going to go to. But no, we were easier to make. So we were cheaper, and that's why they all went to that.
There you go, guys.
Hey!
I still have my Fox Kids Club. Don't ignore the Karen under there. That's my sister.
That's cool that you found that. But that is also a really good hypothesis, Dave, I think, for why
my mall discount card.
The reach wasn't as big because having more mediums for the same thing. I mean, there were also Goosebumps games at the time, and they had shows they were doing, like they had road shows, Goosebumps road shows, and a lot of kids started reading because of Goosebumps. Like it would, especially boys back in the day that didn't like have an inclination to read Goosebumps. It's like, oh, I want to read this. It's kind of like Freddy Krueger for kids, and like kids
they didn't want the Babysitter's Club, and it was a hard sell. Classic boys reading was like the Hardy Boys. And I know I had no interest in the Hardy Boys. That was the 1950s.
Us kids growing 70s and 80s that were monster kids, we fell in love with the horror hosts that would show old Frankenstein and stuff like that because it was cheap. They could buy them cheap for the television stations, and we'd want to know more about that. We'd pick up Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine because it was $0.25. And then, like I said, we'd pick up monster books, and there weren't Goosebumps and stuff for our age back then. So we'd buy these, which were definitely not for kids. I mean, it said naked ladies and all that. And little 6-year-old Mark was like, yes, thank you.
I was just when I was reading the Scarlet Letter at how old? I mean, come on.
Exactly. But we love the spooky. We love that. So that's why that led
to Doreen Gray. Yeah,
that led to things like Tales from the Crypt and stuff like that, and Are You Afraid of the Dark?
And Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and
we all grew up watching reruns of Twilight Zone and From Beyond and
Tales of the Unexpected.
Yes, and oh god, the one with We Control the Horizontal. I'm blanking on it right now.
Outer Limits.
We Control
my brain is. I'm going to kick myself.
The Outer Limits.
Outer Limits. Thank you. Oh god. Thank you.
And I wanted to say. Sorry.
No, but I'm just saying, kids will find a way for horror, and that's they love it. It's there. We love the monsters. We've always loved the monsters, and we always will. And that's why Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps hit. They were within a month of each other both ways. So boom.
See, I don't remember it. I remember Goosebumps coming in, but that wasn't until a lot later. In the UK, we only had 4 channels until 97.
Right.
I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys have? So you guys didn't have Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I think we may have, but it might have been later. The ones I remember is Round the Twist.
Oh, I love that one.
Which was the Australian Lighthouse in Erie, Indiana.
Yeah, Erie, Indiana was fun.
Yeah, I heard people talk about that one too.
Yeah, Erie, Indiana was great.
And
no relation to Erie, Florida. Available in fine bookstores everywhere.
But with the UK, we had what's it called? We only had 4 channels from 97. We didn't have Freeview, and only if you were really wealthy, you had Sky or cable. So
Did you get the license too, right? The TV license for those 4 channels.
Yeah, you guys get like excellent television there by default. Like, you know, to even get into like the non-crappy TV here in the States, you already have to pay.
Actually, I was watching something out there and it got edited. They actually can edit their TV for certain content too.
Yeah.
Well,
and in the day, non-cable, you would get edited for television. Those dreaded words that you would see at the beginning of a movie that you love. When I saw Star Wars edited for television, I'm like, what?
There's like a CBS.
Do that when I went on my trip out there. I didn't think they were going to do that, and their TV actually edited out something I have a copy of, and I'm like, "But where's that scene?" And they're all like, "What are you talking about? There's a scene missing." And I had to show them what I had.
There is a CBS version of like The Exorcist somewhere floating around, which is really funny considering editing that movie for TV. But all I was going to say is like, with these shows, like, because you guys have reminded me of a lot of series that were popular at the time too, and also other book series. Like I thought about Cirque du Freak as well, and Fear Street, like other kids book series that were kind of like hitting that horror niche at the time. But one thing I forgot to say about Are You Afraid of the Dark is I when you watch it, I get this feeling that like whoever was behind the production team, and a lot of the same actors were on both shows, but I mean, if you look at like the cinematography and the score in Are You Afraid of the Dark, you really get the feeling that like they were trying to make something that kind of could stand on its own. Like, I mean, if you flip through that as an adult, like you'd probably realize it was a kid's show pretty quickly, but it might take you a few minutes versus like Goosebumps. I think you might realize immediately as soon as someone said a line, you know what I mean?
The reason all the same actors was it was all filmed in Canada, so it was cheap. So
right. And you guys, if you, and I would like to know, chat, if you guys have ever seen Are You Afraid of the Dark, and if you haven't, then maybe it's something that you could show. Maybe it's something you could show a niece or a nephew or a child or a grandchild, if they're into horror, but you're not ready to show them Pennywise the Dancing Clown yet. So.
Was there a similar series to Are You Afraid of the Dark with William Shatner reading a book? Because I remember seeing something about that one and everything, where they had an episode where this mermaid married this family and all that stuff. And it was like all these kids and stories with these kids and stuff. William Shatner was hosting it. He was like reading this book and everything to them. And I don't know if that's on the same guidelines of it or because it was hard. Some of it was hard.
I do remember talking about edited for television. One of the best of all time was Snakes on a Plane.
Oh man.
No.
Hey, can I say I say the line, please?
Oh, go for it. I was going to say it, but go ahead.
I'm tired of these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. That's what he said in the TV version.
I think the best one was Coming to America in the UK.
Yeah.
When Samuel L. Jackson comes into their McDonald's and rather than using the F-bomb, he goes, "Forget you."
Yes.
And walks out. It's like, what?
Well, they still did that on Andor. Speaking of, the one bit where she says her big speech and says fight the Empire, but if you watch that close, she ain't saying fight the Empire.
Yeah, you know, there in that one scene in Andor, and
thank you, Gadget. Yes,
yeah,
in that one scene in Andor, she said, you know, if I could do it again, I would have been fighting these from the start. I would have changed that word to make that a little bit more punchy. Yeah. She said one word there. I would have put another word there, but But that is a great show, by the way. Just got to say that.
Yeah. No, Art Afraid of the Dark was really good. I remember they did a movie. Same production team did Crybaby Bridge, and a lot of people give me, "Hey, I know where Crybaby Bridge is. I know where." Every state has a Crybaby Bridge because of that made-for-TV movie in the 90s.
I never actually saw that, by the way.
Same with the Hook horror guy, the Hook killer. You know, it's urban legend everywhere. It did happen in one place, but anyway, gang, I'm sorry, I got to run. This has been a blast.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you all. I hope Christian makes it. Happy 5th anniversary, everybody, for YouTube. I've been doing this a little longer because I was still on during the podcast days. But it's
that's
nice
right. That was the whole point of this episode, was that it's the 5th anniversary tomorrow.
Yep,
I forgot to mention that.
It's also another anniversary of the Challenger as well.
And Apollo 1, the Apollo 1 fire anniversary of that today too. So some bad stuff and some good stuff. But
that's why we're trying to make it happy today.
Yep. So pleasant dreams all. I will see you. If you follow us eerietravels.com or follow me on Eerie Travels on YouTube, I try to put spooky horror and anniversaries of crazy things every day. So we'll see you on the other side, gang.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Have fun.
Speaking of Mark, what did you want to talk about?
I was just talking about some new TV shows which are coming out and a couple other things which I might play around with being super ultra geeky with doing some home lab projects. So the TV shows I'm looking forward to. I've just watched Robin Hood, the MGM one.
What, you watched some Robin Hoods? Shocking, I say.
If you don't get that joke, go to Spill the Geek Tea and watch how we rank 24 both movies and TV series in one night.
3+
it's
hours.
Crazy. It wasn't 3, it was under 3.
Was it under 3?
2.5. It was 2.5.
All right.
But I really enjoyed this episode. It's a lot better. It's very, very how do I say? It was like Game of Thrones, but with less of the nudity. It's very, very much that sort of style. It's got Sean Bean in it.
So not nearly as good, is what we're saying.
Exactly.
Depends how you want to see it. Depends whether or not you're looking at that. The other thing I'm looking forward to, which is coming out, was something made in the 90s. And it had one of my favorite actresses in it.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. Buffy. I'm really looking forward. I used to watch the movie with Kirsty Swansea. I loved the Buffy and Angel thing. Some of the episodes are really good. My favorite episode is Not Sing One More Time, which is what a lot of people like. I like the opposite one. I like Hush. Because right at the end, the whole episode was done in silence. And the only words which were spoken was, we should talk more. I mean, just fades to black. I think that was really well done episode. And with Angel, you gotta have love small time, where Angel becomes a puppet. But I'm wondering how they're going to do it. Is Buffy going to be Buffy, and she's going to be like a trainer of this new Slayer? Is it what's going to happen? Are we going to carry on from the story where it left off with a Hellmouth opening? Are we going to touch a little bit of Angel or what happened? Because Angel left on the cliffhanger. And we don't know what happened with that. Is Cordelia appearing? We know certain characters are coming back, certain characters aren't coming back. So I'm really intrigued. I know, is it supposed to come out this year or is it next year?
I'm not sure.
It's in sort of half and half. I'm not going to spoil anything, but please stay tuned to Hulu.
Yeah, it says
soon.
Premiere in 2026, but there's no official date.
Just like the other certain show, we have to wait and see, but there's some wrap-ups right now and everything and stuff right now, allegedly wrap-ups.
But I just love the whole series. I love it. It came out in the 90s. It was classic 90s. watching it back now, it seems, it depends which version you watch, it is a little bit dated, but not as bad as the actual film. But if you watch all of them back to back, and it's like, okay, I can get into this. So I'm watching that. And the other thing which I'm looking forward to is the anime.
Which one?
Solo Leveling.
That's right.
Have you seen this one, Gadget?
It's okay.
I actually really, really enjoy this one.
It's okay. There's actually a copycat coming out right now too.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, there's loads of copycats. Like there's the other one which I stole the cheat code and level up in another world.
I'd rather be watching Kaiju 8, but yeah.
Yeah, I like Kaiju 8 as well. Kaiju 8 is good.
Mhm.
This has just got a little bit of feeling on it. I still like Sword Art Online, which a lot of people don't like anymore.
Yeah.
SAO.
Yeah, especially when I got Asuka sitting on my desk. Asana. Yeah.
But this one's quite a nice one. It's going a little bit dark, so I'm looking for it. It starts off nice and quite light. Guy coming up for it. See, I will disagree with you there. I'm not a big fan of Lupin, me personally.
Lupin is good, but you gotta watch it from even when he was a kid too. They have the new version where he's a kid.
I'd rather go back to watch the 70s version of Gatchaman. I think
they did release it on DVD. They did.
Yeah, Battle of the Planets, G-Force, or whatever you want to call it.
No, they have Gatchaman on the actual series on.
Yeah, it's got 3 different names depending on which country.
Mm-hmm.
So this was really good. And the other one I started watching last week was the Game of Thrones new spin-off.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I don't know what I think of this, to be honest. I watched the first episode. I'm like, okay, where are you going with this story? Because I know Dave's double gunner is basically quite heavily involved with this one, which is unlike House of Dragons. So I want to see where it goes. It does look like it's based on the book of the Hedge Knight, isn't it?
It's what is it? The 7th book? Not the 7th book. It's one of the series books, right? It's I don't know if it's the 7th book or 10th. One of them.
I think it's a Hedge Knight book.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
At least the books are done on this one. Yeah. So that's what I'm watching, and I think there's going to be some new.
I think it is the 7th book. I think it is.
I think we're in the period of we're just waiting for things to happen.
Our own wilderness.
And we're like, okay, is this going to happen? Is it not going to happen? And it doesn't matter what TV show you're in. Are we going to get some stuff we going to like, or are we not going to get any stuff we like? And the other things I'm playing around with while we're waiting for the wilderness is some home lab project, like building a Batacera box, which is basically an emulation of pretty much every console you can think of, and playing around with the R's, which are sonar, Rydal, Lidl, and LiDAR, sonar, radar, prowler, and loads of documentation online. Of course, this is purely educational purposes, but it's quite handy to have and learn. I'm learning a lot of how to build up my own NAS and Dockers, a lot more than just basically getting it from textbook. So yeah, it's something short, something simple, something I'm looking forward to, and that's my little piece done. Really, nothing much, nothing special. I thought I'd just share. Have you guys ever decided to build up your own like little home labs or home projects?
No.
No.
Sean?
Not really sure. Like, I don't know if that would count as that or not. But yeah, I don't know. I probably not.
So yeah, so there's a thing called TrueNascal, and everything I do is open source. So it's not tied to Microsoft, it's not tied to Apple, and there's no big bucks with it. And it's all open source, it's all free. I love using open source project, and some of the stuff is really powerful. Like if you're into like editing, DaVinci Resolve is amazing for editing.
I certainly would.
It's basically what. Yeah, carry on.
Sorry, I started to talk and then I got like swallowed my saliva and couldn't speak. Sorry. Saying I certainly would like. I certainly would like to do something like that with software, but I haven't before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So
aren't you so glad I added that to the story?
Yeah, that's fine. That gives it more context there, fair Sean. But like DaVinci Resolve, the paid version is what Hollywood studios use, and they basically packed it up for a free version that everyone can use. Okay, it is scaled down. Some of the features are not there, but on the general thing, you can color grade, you can add special effects, edit it, and it's just such a powerful, and it's free. If you're bored or if you're tired with like stuff like Photoshop, because you don't want to pay the money for Photoshop, there's GIMP or
I use
Blender.
Corel.
Yeah. Well,
Corel?
Corel Draw.
I use both editing and software.
Right. Okay. But is it paid
Yeah.
software or is it open source?
Yeah, it's paid software, but it actually is worth it, especially with my dyslexia and everything. I can't do the other ones. It doesn't work. I tried them. I can't. My brain cannot function with the other ones. It doesn't make sense to me. Where this one, I think what is it? A Canadian company, Corel and everything, or French Canadian? They actually work with people. They said that were dyslexic, and that's why they created it too, and everything, and stuff. I use it with drawing. I use it with editing and stuff like that. I made half of my videos on YouTube with Corel.
Yeah, I started using Corel Draw 4. That shows how old I've gone.
Which one do I have? I'm looking right now because I haven't updated since I lost my job. So let's see these. I think I have. It's the one that came out in 23. So that might be.
Lost count on that.
Yeah. I have Corel Painter. I have Corel, Video Studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a free operation if you don't want to pay for Corel. There's GIMP.
Yeah.
And I'm just playing around with open source stuff. And
we just gotta watch the malware.
Open source is not really that much malware in it.
Okay.
If you know what you're looking for and you know it's got a big community behind it, it's really, really quite powerful. It's basically when you get the unknown ones. So when I would probably say looking for open source, don't just go for any open source. Go for the one which is led by the community.
I know some companies, like if you're employed with them, they don't necessarily want you to use open source software, which is a problem sometimes for like accessibility stuff. But some of them won't use open source software because they're worried about the vulnerabilities. But it's just like with anything, like you said, like I think if you kind of know what you're doing, it's like not as. I understand why a company would say that, but I mean, I use a program on my computer which is open source, which is like accessibility for my screen and stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I didn't design it or anything, but I mean, I do use it.
So yeah, that's what I'll be doing in the next coming 12 months.
Nice. I've been looking forward to Starfleet Academy. That's
my pin is somewhere around here. I have a pin from Comic-Con.
Okay, I'm going to change what I said on Sunday. Okay, it's not High School Musical with Starfleet with Star Trek skin. It's High School Musical without the music with Star Trek skin. Is that any better?
That's slightly better.
All I know is New York Comic-Con had the thing, and I got Science Officer or whatever. It's somewhere in a bag over here. I'll show you guys when I find it and everything. But it was an interesting thing. They were talking about it.
Different spin on the show because it's and it. I mean, it goes all the way back to the next gen era when there was going to be the Nova Squadron spinoff they were working on with Wesley Crusher at the Academy. So this is not a new concept, but it's taking place, 1,000 years after, 900 years I think it has, but 1,000 years after Deep Space Nine and the Next Generation. And so a lot of the criticisms are like, oh, well, how could that possibly be? That's not what it was in the Next Generation a millennia ago.
Yeah.
Think about the changes in our world.
The only one that can get away with it is Will. Will is the only one that can get away with it because he's a corporeal being or something, whatever
corporeal
it is.
being, non-corporeal.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The words don't match.
But
Dave, sometime could you explain the Star Trek? Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Sean?
No, it's
I
just
was
like
gonna-
sometimes
I
I
was-
would, I'm going to let you go. I'm so sorry.
Go, Mark.
Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, which timeline are we? Which timeline are we in? Are we following the same timeline as the original Star Trek? Are we in the Kelvin timeline? That's one thing I don't
No,
understand.
it's the original timeline. It's the original timeline.
Right.
That was my question, so thank you for asking.
Yeah, it jumps ahead because Discovery starts pre the original series, pre TOS, jumps ahead 1,000 years, and this is after Discovery. So it has some of the same characters as Discovery. You do not have to watch Star Trek Discovery to enjoy Starfleet Academy, but there will be,
Some
there are
Easter eggs.
a couple of the characters a little bit better if you do, but there are so many Easter eggs in the first episode. Two of the biggest ones were for Lower Decks and Prodigy, the two animated series.
Yep.
Yep, I noticed that.
But there was quotes on the wall from every era, characters mentioned in the back, like on the walls in the backgrounds.
Characters appearing.
The Doctor comes back from Voyager. That's not a spoiler. He's just the main character. And it's the same Doctor, just he put in an aging module into his system
which I like,
because it makes him look a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more to normal people's standards. The opera singer in the first episode, they do a big, or in the second episode I think it is, the Doctor and him and an alien are doing an opera in the background of a big reception. She's actually from the Canadian Opera Company. She's because it's filmed in Toronto. The series is filmed in Toronto.
Pa pa pa. Pa pa pa. Pa pa pa. Well,
no, wait, that's Mr. Bassman. Never mind.
But I must admit, out of all the Star Treks, I've seen all of them apart from Voyager and Enterprise. For some reason, I just can't get into Enterprise.
Is that one newer than Voyager?
Not Enterprise, Voyager. So I can't get into Voyager. I've tried many times.
Why can't you get into Voyager? Tell me.
I don't know. That's the thing. I do not know. I love Nick. I love the original. I love.
Are you mad that a woman asked for directions?
No, not a problem.
Okay, then that should not. Because she was the first woman when they fought with besides Jodie.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah. No. That's the thing about Star Trek. Like Doctor Who, you don't have to like everything.
Bomb.
Yep, there we go.
Jar.
Yep, there's one in the jar for me. I'll take that hit.
That's why I used her real name and not which one she was.
Yeah. But Star Trek, you don't need to watch everything. You don't have to like everything. Not everything is made. They've intentionally made things for different markets. The people watching, and some people are going to watch Lower Decks and Prodigy. But if you think Prodigy, which was aimed at young adults and kids, is the same thing as the animated series Lower Decks, you are in for a very big surprise, my friends.
Dave, as someone who's really only... Oh, I'm so sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
As someone who's really only seen the original Star Trek series, which one should I watch next? Everyone says The Next Generation. I have trouble getting to The Next Generation, but I've heard a lot of people talk about Voyager and Enterprise. I'm not sure which one of those is more recent. I know the most recent Star Trek. My parents were watching that one at Christmas, and I watched that one with them, and I really liked that one. But I mean, you talk about different. Like, which one do you think is the most generally appealing that most people would like? Do you think besides the original?
Enterprise is newer. Enterprise is technically, like, it came out later, but it takes place earlier in the timeline.
It's the prequel.
It's the prequel. Honestly, the two that I think are the best to watch would be Strange New Worlds, which is on right now. It's in season 3 right now. It's just in season 3, and that takes place. It will end at the end of season 5, going into the original series. This is Captain Pike.
Captain Pike, right, from the pilot. Yes. Okay.
Exactly. And Scott and the female first officer, and Uhura as an ensign and as a cadet, and we get Scotty as a lieutenant.
Yep.
So and the characters are going to slowly join in as over the next 2 seasons. So I would say watch that one and Lower Decks. honestly, Lower Decks is some of the best Star Trek out there, despite the fact that it is a comedy. It is blatantly a comedy, and it is blatantly adult.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pull Mark Monty on this one. DS9 is king in my book.
Also
Me
agreed.
too.
I,
Yep.
I can't
disagree.
say no to that. Yeah.
I will disagree. It's good, but not as good as B5.
I have the T-shirt.
Not
I
as,
love
not
that
as good
series.
as not as good as
I was
what?
X for
Babylon 5.
Halloween. I
Babylon
was
5.
X for Halloween.
Okay.
Babylon
Yeah.
5. I'm sorry, Mark, but Babylon 5.
That's not Star Trek. That's Babylon. That's different.
Yes, but Deep Space Nine and Babylon 5 are very comparable.
Rival. Very,
I
very
love the
rival.
Mimbaris. I got accused of being a Mimbari. I mean,
Yeah.
But
And I know
I-
people talk
but-
about Deep Space Nine too.
If you have a hard time getting into the Next Generation, you may have a problem getting into Deep Space Nine. Deep Space
Mhm.
Nine is very different than the Next Generation. It especially later seasons, it gets much more serialized. It is much more serious.
Mm.
And it is really, really, really good. It is arguably it's my favorite. I'd have to really sit down and evaluate.
I don't want
how
to
I
spoil
feel
it
about
from
some
there
of
was an
these
episode I loved on Babylon 5 where you got to see what a certain alien looks like to other races.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
I
know what I'm
think
saying? I don't want to
maybe-
spoil it from. I don't want to spoil it from.
I think maybe I like Star Trek. I mean, I like the original series because I'm a big fan of 60s sci-fi. Oof, that was close. I'm a big fan of 60s sci-fi, but I'm also a fan of like 80s. So I'm a big fan of 70s sci-fi as well. So like, I mean, TNG was what, the 90s, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I only really watched the first. Maybe I just need to watch further into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because Deep Space Nine comes into a point where because Next Generation starts off rough. It's 1989. It starts out rough.
Because I'm starting to think Crusher left when something happened, if you get my drift, because of
Yeah.
what happens later when we find out about Picard's little accident.
But we come in by the time we get to Deep Space Nine, Next Generation has really caught its stride
I'm not spoiling.
and is
Mhm.
better without spoiling anything. It catches its stride after a couple of seasons. You know,
I
once
must admit, I do
Riker
like-
gets his beard, it starts maturing.
Mhm. Okay.
Once Riker's
See-
old enough to have a beard.
Against popular or unpopular opinion, I still like Discovery. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I like
I
it.
like Discovery. I like Discovery just fine.
The only thing
I
I
thought-
would suggest is right at the very beginning, the tech was too sophisticated for that period of time of Trek.
Oh, Discovery. I get Discovery and Voyager mixed up. Jesus. I was like, wait, I thought you didn't. No, that's. Wow. Did I think that those were the same? Did I think that those were the same show?
They're very different. Voyager
Well,
takes place
wow.
in the Next Generation era, give or take.
Uh-huh.
Whereas Discovery starts out before the original series, and then they jump forward in time. And it's got some wild ideas. It's got some wild redesigns. It's very different. And the first 3 seasons
Mhm.
are wildly different. They're the same characters, but there's a story arc to each of these seasons
Mhm.
that just go off that are completely out of left field from each other.
And would you say these series are more anthologized or more serialized?
The newer ones are definitely more serialized. Discovery is very serialized.
Okay.
Babylon 5. Deep Space Nine starts out a little bit more of a I won't say monster of the week, but it's a little less serialized at the beginning.
Mhm.
By the end of the series, it's very serialized, and some of the best episodes of Star Trek you will ever find as a result of that. They have some great story arcs in the later era of that. Discovery Enterprise is not really it is a little serialized, but not very. There's a story arc to it, but I wouldn't call it serialized. Discovery is very serialized, and Strange New Worlds is a happy medium. It's a little there's a story arc there, but there's not a lot of it's not as serialized as something like Discovery.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I
Yes,
will.
and the,
I will.
and the Klingon designs change wildly between series, and the Discovery Klingons were unique.
Yeah, but if you look at Klingons in the original TV series, and then look at it in Wrath of Khan, it's completely changed. So you can't say the Klingons are.
No,
there's just so many different variations.
Exactly, and they've gone back, and Starfleet Academy has gone back to something closer to, again, evolved, something closer to the next generation design of the Klingons with the croissant on their head. Sorry, I was watching an Instagram video talking about Star Trek. It's like, we'll have them have aliens with the croissant on their head.
So my problem with Enterprise, and when you're flicking on something to watch, and you think, oh, Enterprise is on, I'll watch this episode. Happens to be the final episode.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spoil it for everyone. I was like, okay, so the whole thing was something. And what's the point of me watching it? So I never actually watched it because I knew what the ending was because I accidentally watched.
Oh, I hate when you can figure those out.
Sometimes
that you already
people
called
say,
it. Those episodes I hate.
Sometimes people will. I have this really annoying thing where sometimes people will tell me things that they don't think are spoilers, but they actually are. And then I work it out, and I get so mad. Sometimes they're like I'm not going to spoil it.
Spoilers.
I figured Roger Rabbit out in 1 second after looking at it.
But if someone's like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'll tell you this, and then I am almost physically incapable of getting that out of my head, and every second I'm going to be like, what did that mean? What did that mean? What did that mean? And then by the time the moment comes in the episode, usually it's 1/3 of the way through. It's like, oh man, now I know what they meant by that. So that's why.
Okay, John, I'll give you advice. If you decide to watch Enterprise, never look at the last episode until you finish it.
Yeah.
Don't jump ahead. Yeah.
Do not jump ahead.
There's a question here for you too. There's a question in from the audience for you, Sean.
Sure.
Roger asks, what does Sean think about one season and only one season of Time Tunnel? Which almost.
Okay, sorry. What was the question?
What you think of if you know, and what you think of the Time
I thought you were talking about the older Time Tunnel.
I didn't hear you again, Dave.
The Time Tunnel.
The Time Tunnel
series.
Is this an episode or a show? I don't know that I've heard of it.
There we go. So that pretty much answers the question. He doesn't
yeah,
know.
Sorry. Well, can you guys tell me what it is?
There's a 60s version, and then there's the 90s version?
Yeah.
Is it on Star Trek?
No.
It's
called the Time Tunnel.
It's just a series called the Time Tunnel. I know. I've never heard of it. Should I check it out?
Bobby Darin was one of the actors in the original one, and then Rob Lowe is in the new one.
Whoever asked me that, do you think, based on the personality that you've assessed from the interactions on this podcast, do you think that I should watch that show? That's my question for whoever asked that.
Raj says yes.
Okay, all right, deal.
Then he's got to be out to watch the original Lost in Space. Then he's got to go to MeTV.
I love the new Lost in Space on Amazon or Netflix.
There's no Lost in Space.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question. Do you think they should reboot Lex?
No,
then they got to go Deepwater Black. Then they got to go Deepwater Black if they reboot things.
Speaking of Canadian TV series,
sorry,
hey, to Star Trek.
I got the movies. I got the series. I want to keep it that way. I like the original girl.
Of course you would.
Because such a discrepancy between the movies and the series, that's why she left and replaced her with the other one, Xena.
Hashtag distracted.
Oh, here's
that's
a good
like
one.
The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. Dad liked the movie, but didn't like the series. Why? They'll see ya.
Yeah. Here we travel. Mark Muncy. Bring back Briscoe County Jr.
Ooh. Oh my God, Forever Night. I have the series. I just can't get season 3. They won't release it here in America. I got seasons 1 and 2 with Nick Knight, and they will not. I even have the pilot too, and with Rick Springfield, and I can't get the friggin' season 3 that I like.
That is the worst. when you can't get like one season of something?
It's banned here. They can't get it. They can't ship it. And I would have to go Dave's neck of the woods to get it.
Yeah. Well, you're not that far from the border.
Did you
I'm on the other
guys
side.
ever?
Sean
you
Billy
guys ever-
Covington says Time Tunnel was a great show, but they never gave the series an ending show. So you're not going to get some closure from it, but it's a good show. So
it's really funny because a lot of times I won't finish shows. So like, if you wouldn't have told me that, there's a good chance I would have loved the show and been like, I never finished it though. You know?
Well, there you go.
I was going to say, did you guys ever watch the Jim Henderson sci-fi show?
Muppets in Space?
No, I know what
No.
he's talking about.
Yeah.
It only was a couple of episodes. It was only one season.
No, there
loads of
was
seasons.
like 7 seasons. I can't.
I only
Yeah.
got one season. I only got to see the first season. I never got that was it.
Yeah.
I own it. Farscape.
Yep.
Oh,
That's the
Oh,
one.
you're talking about Farscape? I saw all of Farscape. I thought you meant the other one, the kids one.
No, Farscape was done
No,
by Jim
Farscape,
Henderson,
I've seen
wasn't it?
all of them, yeah. Especially when they moved over to Stargate.
Farscape. I mean, Starscape.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what it turned into on Stargate.
Yeah. So there's so many sci-fi
Stargate.
shows apart from the one we're not allowed to talk about today.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
there's so many hidden gems. Like we've not even done like tripods or as Mark Monty, like Andromeda. What was the spin-off of Babylon 5? Crusade?
Deep Space Nine.
Crusade.
No.
Crusade, yeah.
But they
Oh,
did
yeah,
another one as well.
Andromeda.
I
They
love
did a
Andromeda.
second spin-off as well.
There was.
You got Crusade and you got the Rangers one.
No, Crusade was the Rangers one.
Yeah.
Was it? I thought there was another
Yeah.
one. I thought they did two.
No, there was only
two
the one.
spin-offs.
There was a couple of TV movie spin-offs,
Yep.
Movies.
but the only series spin-off was Crusades, and that was the Rangers.
Was it? I thought it was something else. I'm sure it was.
March
Now
is
you've got
up
me
by-
thinking now.
Erie Travel says Blood and Chrome.
There was
Oh,
Earth
right.
2,
Chrome was
Crusade,
Battle-
yeah,
Battle-
Crusade
was
is the
Battlestar
spin-off.
Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica, yeah.
Crusade is the
Yeah.
spin-off. What else was there?
No, I think
But they
that's
did-
I'm sure that's it because I owned it all, so I'm
Yeah.
fairly certain it's just Crusades.
One thing I'm
Yes.
missing. One thing from Babylon 5 I am missing from my collection is the latest animation movie.
Oh, okay.
The latest what movie? Sorry.
Animated.
Okay.
Muncie also says there was supposed to be a Rangers one, but it never got made. So there must have been maybe that's what you were thinking. Maybe there was a
Yeah.
second one. that
You
was
might as well
planned.
the pilot, like they did that one time on Fox where they showed the X-Men pilots and all the other stuff and everything, a certain 8th movie pilot or 8th whatever pilot, and stuff like that and everything, because they used to do that. They would throw out the pilots on Fox and people would like it, and then they never took the series from there. Like I have VHS copies of when things premiered.
Mhm.
Shall we do? Are we supposed to be doing commercial or going straight to gadget?
We'll
done
go
commercial?
straight to gadget, but I want to hit Muncie's last comment, and we'll skim past it because we do a whole show on this. The Tomorrow People. I've said this before. I have in my head.
Oh, the
I have a hard
60s
time
and
knowing
the
what is-
the 90s.
Yep. What is the Tomorrow People, and what is the show that shall not be named today? Because they were back to back on PBS,
Uh-huh.
and so they're intermixed in my head.
And it had the same set. Everything was the same plastic set.
Yeah,
That same
style.
set design. The same set design. Especially when the guy, they told him and made him a pauper. And they had him
Yeah.
go in the original 60s one. And then the new one, I never got to finish the ending of it with the newer ones. I have them on VHS. My uncle was trying to record them for me. And so, oh my God, I love that series.
Funny.
So
Mine
that's-
was on Nickelodeon. The original Tomorrow People. That's how I watched it.
No, I watched the 90s version on Nickelodeon. And then PBS was the 60s
too.
version.
No, both of them. I did see them both on Nickelodeon. Yeah.
My Nickelodeon didn't have it.
So, do you guys remember a TV show called The Boy from Space?
Yes.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
girl from tomorrow, and the girl from tomorrow, Ocean Girl, and yeah.
Because The Boy from
What
Space
was the boy from space?
It
was
was.
that?
It was like. It was written by a guy called Richard Carpenter or Kip Carpenter, who also did Catweasel and I'm not sure what. But he did a show called The Boy from Outer Space, and it was quite. It was more aimed for like education. So I remember when I was
There should
watching
be a
it.
Still the Geek Tea episode.
It is. We cover.
No, but I don't remember you guys covering all of these.
We will
eventually. A lot, yeah. We will eventually, I'm sure.
And if those who don't know, Spill the Geek Tea, when does it air?
Sundays, 5 p.m. Eastern.
10 p.m. UK.
Mm-hmm.
He said 10 p.m. UK.
You just got to do the 5-hour time difference.
No,
it's only a 6 or 7. It's about a 6 or 7 hour time difference.
Who remembers Evie?
Just for Mark Muncie.
Guys, who remembers Evie?
Pokemon?
Yeah.
No. If you know what am I doing? Who remembers Evie? Burt Reynolds was the actor in it. He was the voice of the dad.
No. Oh, yes, I do. Evie. She was an alien, half alien.
Half alien,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Out of this world.
Out of this world. And the song was Swinging on a
Star. Could you? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to go there because it's...
The ending sucked.
We've got less than 10 minutes before we have to start wrapping up.
Yeah, I know.
So I want to give Gadget her time. So you got a lot of things you wanted to talk about.
Well, it's like a spin-off because we will focus on just one because it may blow your minds on it and everything. It took 3 days to recover during the pandemic after I watched it and everything. But did you want to go to commercial or did you want to?
No, we're going to skip commercials today.
Okay. And everything. Yeah. Maybe we can see if we don't get copyrighted or anything allegedly and stuff. So the problem with anime is since I was privied during the era where girls were considered lesbians if they watched it, and men were in their parents' basements looking like they had not slept in 10 days and everything, and most people thought it was hentai. Where do you guys want to begin with this?
I got tiny little pictures. I don't know which ones
you want to go back.
Well, I remember watching, like I said, the 70s and 80s versions where you had Wizard of Oz, you had other like versions of Lupin and everything and stuff like that. And my gateway one was Tenchi Muyo. And that's what started me fully on it and everything, which brought me into all the genres that are coming up and stuff to today with My Hero Academia and everything. But the one that, because most of the people usually get like you have some of my pictures, but some people usually watch this one. It's almost like Zombie 100, but this is more funnier. The guy turns into a girl and everything and stuff like that. This one, my friend got me in Japan. Like I said, My Hero Academia. This is one of the movies. This one is vampires can walk through the day, but the minute they smell human blood, they turn into the demons that they are and everything. This is a boys' love and everything, if you're into boys' love. And then this one, nobody can get. As you can see, it's uncut and everything because you really have to have the stomach for this. And everything, but this one messes with your mind. That one, and some of you that can see it on the short version because the banner's covering it.
Oh, banner.
Yeah. Look at how much that's going for now because this is a sought after anime. This anime is based on a Japanese dystopian novel that was critically acclaimed in 2008. You cannot find it in an English translation. And it isn't political per se, but it's also mind-bending because it's like, what is a human being? And when you're watching it and everything, it also reflects on what the war was during the World War II or what the Japanese and everything and stuff like that. Like if you know your history of what was going on, but this is basically a utopian society where psychics basically ability materializes. And if you don't have it, you magically disappear and stuff. So I would literally, when you watch this, make sure you are of a good mind because it will mess you up when you find out the plot at the end and everything, what happens, because it's borderline madness. It's borderline. You have one person that took their genetics and made themselves be almost 1,000 years old and stuff and everything because they were able with their psychic ability to slow their stuff down. And out of these kids right here, only one, I will give you that, succeeds in a way that you would never think. It's very dystopian. So if you're into dystopian stuff, but don't watch it. I watched it during the pandemic, and I was like, and they're long episodes. They are long and stuff, but it's basically anime can go either way. I'll put it that way. It's so like, if you ask me like what got me into it, it was just my uncle found a VHS copy of a hentai sitting, and we didn't know, and then we found Tenchi because he worked in a comic book store, you know. Then I started from there, Suncoast, everything. And then my friends, I found out, were becoming voice actors and everything. So even more so and everything, it got me into the genre of it. And then to find out it's about cultural, and it teaches you something too. It doesn't dumb down things like some episodes do of some American shows. It treats everybody as if their intelligence is that you understand that. And if you have questions, you ask questions or you look it up. The shows today, I wouldn't put a candle to it, because like, especially like I said, this one, Kite, is very interesting. These are more the adult ones. They have little kid ones like Samurai Pizza Cats and Sailor Moon. Even Sailor Moon you got to watch, because they actually edited it for the content of Sailor Uranus and Neptune, as those were not cousins. They were a gay couple in the series and everything, as well as the ending episode on when it aired on WPIX here. They combined the two-parter because they didn't want anybody to see the Sailor Scouts die when they actually did die. You know, that's the one thing about anime. You will get an ending where someone dies. You will get a character that's killed off. You will get... It doesn't dumb it down for you. It's just the stereotype that is surrounded by everything, and that's what hurts, because now they've got One Piece saying it's political. Now they've got this... You can't enjoy it anymore. Even in the cosplay world, it has become so taboo now, depending on what you are, because people are like, it's not the same as it was back in the 70s and 80s.
See,
good.
So that's what I was going to say. One of the things which drew me into anime, I'm just one clear up. Reason why sometimes I call it manga, even though manga are the
here's the manga.
Okay.
This is the L manga, by the way.
Yeah, the publisher in the UK was called Manga. So every video you got in the UK had the manga label on it, even though manga means comics and not anime. So
no, it was a company called Manga, and it went Viz. It went to like it went because I remember working with the guys from when they were at Viz and Pioneer and everything, Critical Mass Video and stuff. And Critical Mass usually handled the hentais, the older 18+ anime, and that's the difference too. There's hentai and then there's 18+ anime, and a few of them on there. Like, I wanted you guys to guess what would be an 18+, or even because Redo Hero, they have to edit it for television very badly and stuff. And then the one where the guy's holding the girl in the outfit, she's actually a 25-year-old pretending to be her younger sister, and ends up finding that the teacher there is her old classmate that she had a crush on. So that one's a hentai. So that's what I'm saying. Like, stuff that looks innocent may not be innocent.
And what did you say about the pizza? I didn't mean to laugh earlier, but you said something about like cats
Samurai
and pizza.
What did you... Samurai Pizza Cats was a spoof that they did. It's actually an anime. There really is an anime, but it's not. The English dub is actually spoofing the show the same way like Ghost Stories, which God rest those souls of people I know that on there. They did the voices, but they did it as a comedy skit on Ghost Stories. But if you see the original Japanese, it does not. No. Like, it doesn't do it just. Like, sometimes dub can do better than sub, and sub does better than dub, but then you got that controversy out there. Dragon Ball Z, I've been watching since it was on the Korean channel 53 here when we didn't have cable and stuff. I was watching Ranma 1/2, which is where the guy falls into a water that turns him into a girl that was killed there, where his father falls into the other one, turns into a panda. And every time they get hot water or cold water on them and stuff. But I saw the original, which had more risque than the newer one. And that's another thing too with revamps. They're trying to dumb them. I hate saying it. To me, it's dumbing it down, because I would rather see this and understand what it is than not be shown something and have to find out later and get the wrong information.
Do you watch DBZ or DBZ Kai?
I watched it when it was originally Dragon Ball.
Well, there's Dragon Ball and then there's Dragon Ball Z, and then they did Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Z is for American audiences. They changed the title. You got to understand, what you see here is all edited stuff. Titles are edited, changed to things. They're not called Z, DB, or any of that. They're called different genre things. Like Dragon Ball. Yeah.
The show that we refer to in the United States as Dragon Ball Z Kai, do you like that show?
Well, if that's the one with Frieza, where my best friend who passed away was the voice of Frieza and everything. Then
Kai is the edited down version of the show. It's redubbed. New
yeah, no, I know
score.
the voice actors for all of it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's a dumb question to ask me. Everything and stuff. It's basically, I have grown up watching all of these. I can tell you every episode. I can tell you everything, the unedited to the edited. And that's the thing. You got to watch, because I was around the genre era where they took Sailor Moon and gave you edited versions, or even what was the one with the cats? Weird, because they couldn't show the panty shots and everything. You'd have a 13+ version or a 15+ version, because people were so scared that you're going to see the panty shots or you're going to see the breasts. Like Sword Art Online, they raise Asana's water up here while she's in the bathtub on Crunchyroll, and Funimation, where if you get the DVD, you can see the water down. Same with Sailor Moon, the water got raised up and everything and stuff. Like, that's the thing with anime and stuff. It's people don't do their, like, look at the back at like the different versions of it and stuff, and they only focus on the hit ones like Dragon Ball Z. What was the other? My Hero Academia and stuff. They forget about there's some classic ones. There's older ones you didn't know about, like Chocolate and Vanilla. There is what's the one? Tiny Witches. There is trying to think of all the other ones I was watching. Like, there's so many that go not noticed and everything. This one is one of my favorites, which was a sleeper hit, and that was the Apothecary Diaries. But because Webtoons was the original producers of it, they have different versions. There's like 4 different mangas, 2 web novels, and some other types of things on this. And all because she likes poison and she's like a little Sherlock Holmes and everything. Meanwhile, he's lovesick for her, and she looks at him and goes like, go away. And then, but at the end, she lets him get away with a few things. But it's also, people forget, feudal China and everything, and they don't understand why she's not allowed to do things when it's the rear palace and everything. Why would she get in trouble if she's doing what she's doing? Because back then, women were not allowed to be smart. We're not allowed to be whatever. But because it's a twist, people don't understand it, and why he acts the way, why she's under his protection as everything. And it's just, people, like, you have to look up what you're watching too, because yeah, this anime character may be able to do it, but back then she would have been beheaded.
So
yeah,
we are at a point where we have to start wrapping
Yeah,
this
like
up.
you gave me the rush version. Like, you guys, I'm gonna go more into detail on my new shows on Gadget After Dark and everything, because like I said, this stuff is more for dark stuff and everything and all that. But like I said, this one, I recommend you guys pick this up, because right now and everything, this one I think you need to watch in this climate that's going on right now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we've lost Sean, so I'll quickly just give the do we have his banner here? I don't have his banner, but you can look him up on Our Philosophy Is, and there's some numbers behind it, and I don't have
I'm just mad. I wish if you could find me part 2 to this one, volume 2, I would love it, because I loved playing this.
Who knows? We'll find.
Yeah.
Gadget, where can we find you?
Everywhere and anywhere. You can find me on the new channel, Gadget Pendragon After Dark. I'm working on episodes for that, because I really want to get out there that we got to start thinking with our brains again. We have to start seeing things from the other side of the coin. We have to, like, literally just, like, and the After Dark version will allow people to speak their mind and everything. And I'll still have Gadget Vlogs as part of it and everything, but I'm still working on some episodes. I might have some people in the dyslexic community come on. I might have some anime people come on. Depends on when their time is free and everything. You can also find me on lulu.com with my books and everything, because, guys, I need to make money. There's no jobs out there, so, guys, please, especially this one and everything, because that's another thing I'll be talking about and everything in the fandom of that and all that. And like I said, the GoFundMe is to help right now, because my case was denied, even though I allegedly had talked about the abuse I was going through at my job, but they feel that it was a situation that, if it was reversed, might have been different. Let's just put it that way, allegedly. So let's just leave it at that with that. And I hope you guys go out, have fun, and be kind to everyone. And I'm sorry my segment was rushed, because I would have gone more into questions about you guys asking why girls were considered lesbian, why guys were in the basement, and stuff like that and everything. But that'll be on my show.
Exactly. So that'll be that's a whole nother episode in and of itself.
Right. That's another. Yeah.
Candyman, where can we find you?
You can find me here at The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. You can also find me at Spilt the Geek Tea. And You're
doing it again. You did it again.
Yeah, you can find me at the Spielberg Geek Tea, and you can also find me at my Instagram site where I post like cosplay stuff on Cyborg T100_cosplay. Tom, where can you find you?
You can find me on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. You can find me on Spill the Geek Tea. You can find me on my personal channel. You can see us on Tasty Talk of The Legend of Spill the Geek Tea After Dark. And my thing was going to be about Transformers the movie, but as Orson Welles said back in the day, it's a big toy eating other toys. That's
and you got my show too. And you got my show too.
Yes, I'm going to be producing Gadget Pendragon After Dark and co-produce with her on Gadget Vlogs. And then Dave.
Excellent. You can find me on Spill the Geek Tea as well as those other Yahoos. You can find me every other Monday on Horses on Film, youtube.com/@horsesonfilm, where we're talking the top 100 Westerns of all time, based on the IndieWire Wire 2024 list. You can find me first Thursday of every month, so coming up here in a week on Happiness Patrol, youtube.com/@happinesspatrolshow. And you can find me in between all of that on my channel, youtube.com/theratholedotca. That's therathold.ca, but YouTube does not like URLs in our URLs. We are hitting our hard deadline, so I want to thank you guys. Yeah. Thank everybody for joining us. Hopefully we got to some of your questions.
If Christian wants to make this an extra episode next week or something, we
might do this again. There's definitely talk of it. If you guys liked it, let us know.
Yeah, I can continue the anime, and then we get Tom's, and then we get everything else, right?
Exactly. So everyone, say goodnight. Say goodnight to Simon.
Night,
and we're
Simon.
Gonna sign off. So everyone, Tony, take us out.